Steve, unlucky. What's your take on the game, firstly?
My take on the game was we probably lost the game in the first half. I thought our first half performance we looked a little bit tentative with everything in the first half. I think that would have been the time where we could have maybe put the squeeze on them, and we didn't do that. I thought in the second half we were much better. I think in extra time, I think the game's won. You know, we've gone gallivanting off a little bit, got a little bit excited, whereas all we needed to do there was perhaps keep the back four together and keep our two holding midfield players. I thought it was a great effort for the lads, considering we've gone into extra time, and it's strange really how it's worked out with the teams that have had games before that. So maybe that might have been that little bit. You can only do so much running and fitness work with your boys, but what you can't do is you can't replicate how a game is. So I just thought in the first half we looked a little bit just a yard away from things. So that for me is how I look at tonight, is my only disappointment with the lads. You know, anyone can miss a penalty. So yeah, you know, we've done what we could this season. I think it's been a good season, but it's difficult to say that right now because of the disappointment. The guys they're devastated in the dressing room because they have gone out there and, you know, after not playing for a few weeks, I think that contributed to us a little bit in the first half. But yeah, that's probably my take on it. The penalties, the substitutions we made, you know, Kyle would have taken a penalty, but it's whether we get him through the game. He seemed to be limping a little bit. Maisie, he would have been another one that would have taken a penalty and has done this week. And, you know, the other boys, there would have been a knock-on effect down the line. So, you know, we just didn't have, at the end there, the penalty takers on the pitch to give us maybe that bit of security.
You had a big call towards the end of the game as well, and it looked like that Jenks and Deutsch were going to come on, yeah. But you thought defend the corner, bring them on.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, with that, what you're doing is you're gonna weaken the team from a set play. So if you know, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. You know, we very rarely make any substitutes when the ball is in our half, because any one mistake, you know, it can end up in the back of your net. So yeah, we wouldn't have done that, but those two were coming on because we knew that would happen. And, you know, whilst Teddy wasn't in the top five, he would have taken a penalty, and so would Doigi. So yeah, I'm sort of stuck for words a little bit. Just the only thing for me, back four, two midfield players at the back end of the game is the only thing. And yeah, it's just...
I'm proud of you of the season as a whole when you took over January 18 months ago.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you know, we can talk about all of that. Maybe, I don't know, maybe in a week or two I might look at it and think, you know what, it's been a good season. But it could have been great. And I think the boys, you know, I just said to him in there, don't get talking and analysing it too much, because, you know, they're very emotional at the moment, and they've been good friends. They've been a very tight-knit squad, and we done unbelievably well after being 1-0 down to come back and get 2-1 up and get our noses in front. And yeah, that's the only disappointment really.
Going forward now, what's the plan for the next few days? Retained lists and contract offers?
Yeah, I think what we need to do now, I need to have a think about when I bring the lads back in. I have to be brutally honest, I wasn't preparing for our season to end tonight. I genuinely thought we were going to win, but that wasn't out of any shape or form, any arrogance. I was just confident in our lads. Yeah, but congratulations as well. I must say that to Southend. I've just been in the dressing room. I've shook hands with all of their guys, their coaching staff and their players, which was tough, if I'm brutally honest. But I thought it was the right thing to do.
We don't know your contract situation. You certainly have turned the club around since when you've taken them over. You said you've never left a club in a worse situation. You turned the form around. Have you got another season to try again next year?
Are you asking me if I'm staying?
Yes. Well, I'm sure the fans want you, by the way. Just saying if you want to, if you've got another season left.
No. Yeah, I would want to try and build on top of what we've done. I work for good people. You know, Dale, Asif, I have regular conversations with them. You know, I'm gutted really, because I wanted to get him back up at the first attempt. I wanted to do that for Dale because he's been incredible with me. So I'm sorry to him, you know. Yeah, you know, it just hurts at the moment. It's very difficult. I appreciate your questions. They've been kind. It's very difficult at the moment, though.
So thank you for joining us and taking us to us all season. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.